Welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. And they got tasting notes, but I'm gonna do my own. I'm not gonna trust their tasting notes. And I don't want their tasting notes to influence me. These guys, Two Souls Spirits, are doing independent bottling. Independent bottling of whiskey has been something that's been going on for a very long time in the world of Scotch. This is a thing where a company will buy a barrel of whiskey that is either partially matured or new make, and then they'll age it in their own warehouses, finish aging it, finish it in something additional, a different barrel, or sometimes it's a finished barrel that's ready for bottling that they just purchased, and then they bottle it under their own label. There are a bunch of companies that do this. Berry Brothers, Alexander Murray, tons of them. There's a ton. I'm not even going to list them all. It's really not something that's big in the bourbon world, but it's coming. It's coming. Now, this is the first that I know of. There are all kinds of Facebook groups that are buying picks and putting them out. And not just Facebook groups, there are other ways to get them. But there are groups that are buying picks and putting them out. But they're not bottling them. They're not finishing them. The finishing's being done by the whiskey producer, and then they're just selling the pick. Now, these guys, Two Souls Spirits, are doing independent bottling. Now, this is the first I know of that's doing this. They're purchasing whole barrels, doing their own bottling. I don't know how long they're keeping the barrels on hand before they bottle them. So that's a question that would be fun to talk to. I'd actually love to interview these guys, and because they're in Gainesville, they're not so far away. We can make that happen. So I'm going to read their little card here. Two Souls Spirits represents a new breed of independent bottlers. We are committed to full transparency, collaboration, and the search for the perfect spirit. We hand-selected this single barrel offering because it represents the very best of American craft whiskey. And it's big, bold, non-chill filtered, and made by people whose passion inspired us to start this journey. Suggested use: open, pour, sip, contemplate the fabric of our existence. Now, this is a bourbon, this sample that they sent me. And let me tell you how I got this sample. So a buddy of mine, David, has a pick group, and he was talking to these guys, and they offered to send him samples, and he suggested that they send them to me. And he messaged me and said, "Hey, is this cool? I'm trying to put this together." And I said, "Sure, but tell them I'm going to be brutally honest. And if they're cool with that, then have them send them to me, and I'll taste them and review them and tear them apart as needed." So this one is a 4-year-old bourbon, and this is from Watershed Distillery out of Ohio. And they sent me a sample, which the bottle looks pretty much exactly like the sample. There's a picture of it. I don't know how well the camera will focus on that, but they do their own bottling. If you go to their Instagram, you can see they have the barrels in-house that they're bottling from. So they are truly an independent bottler. And this is 123.4 proof. And Watershed, it has the barrel number. It's a 72 corn, 21 rye, 7% malted barley. The yield was 217 bottles. The barrel char was number 4. They are completely upfront about that full transparency thing. They got all the information on here. And that's all we really care about. And they got tasting notes, but I'm going to do my own. I'm not going to trust their tasting notes. And I don't want their tasting notes to influence me. So, let's see. Let's see if they picked a good barrel. Now, Watershed Distillery out of Ohio. I know they put out good stuff. I've had a few, not too many. I've had a few. and I liked everything that I had. So let's see. Okay. Apricot, honey, brown sugar, cinnamon, a hint of maybe a nutmeg drizzle. It almost has almost. I don't remember if Watershed is using a copper pot distillery, but I kind of feel like maybe it is. This hints Irish, but I think it's a copper pot distillery process that's giving me that note. It's got a little nice dark, bready, chocolatey, thick, rich, savory kind of note there. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Let's taste it. Ooh. Oh, okay. Tropical fruit. The honey comes through on the palate. Very creamy, very mouth-coating. It doesn't come across very young for a 4-year-old. It's not real grain forward. There's a syrupy, wow. It's like almost like a flavored honey. Like a syrupy, maybe maple syrup with the honey. Wow. Okay. There's a little hint of something on the finish it's a little dry well into the finish. That's my only detraction, is it's just a slight dry. Ooh, yeah. The copper pot note on the nose just keeps getting more and more apparent. Way back on the finish, there's something just a little dry and man, that's odd. I can't put my finger on that note, and what I want to say is gonna sound heckin' weird. Do you know those smiley face dish sponges that for cleaning your pots and pans and dishes and stuff? I shouldn't even say this, but you know the one I'm talking about? The buddy, I think that's what they're called, the dish buddy, whatever. The way that feels in your hand, that like little bristliness, the like almost squishiness, it's so odd, but the finish on this reminds me of like holding one of those. Not a dirty, gross one, stop. A brand new one, just like the feel of it. It's really odd. It's back there in the finish. Mid palate's awesome. Front of the palate's great. And then there's just that little weirdness on the finish. But hey, it's not bad. It's not a negative. It's just an odd note. I like that. Overall, I think that's pretty great. I love the idea of private barreling bourbons. I think this needs to be done more. I would love to do this in the future. Purchase barrels from different distilleries, but then I would want to age them myself. I would want to age them or finish aging them, extra age them, whatever you want to call it, myself, in specific climates that I have in mind. And I think that would be absolutely so much fun to do. And I have some experiments that I would love to do on some whiskey barrels. Just try some stuff that I don't think a few other people have thought about yet. And so someday that's kind of something I would love to get into. We'll see what happens. You never know. Maybe I'll start my third new career at some point. So anyway, I'm in love with this idea. I think they picked a great one from Watershed. So keep up the good work, guys. And I have another of their offerings to review later, and it's a hazmat rye. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.